Vercel is the platform for front-end developers, providing the speed and reliability innovators need to create at the moment of inspiration. Founded by the creators of Next.js, Vercel has zero configuration support for 35 plus front-end frameworks, including SvelteKit. We enable the world's largest brands like Under Armour, eBay, and Nintendo to iterate faster and create quality software. Try out Vercel today to experience the easiest way to use Svelte.
Hey, it's another Svelte Radio episode. It was such a long time since we recorded. Ooh. Yeah. Today, it's just me and Brittney, but we are going to have a great time anyway.
We're going to catch up with all the things.
Yeah, what have you been up to lately? What's going on?
I just flew back from Jamstack Conf, so literally jet lagged and tired today, but we're making it through. It was such a great time and fun meeting all of the people. I got to meet lots of people. I was like, it's in San Francisco, so it's like the one place where you can roll out of a bar and run into a billionaire. So it's kind of funny. Met like Tom Preston Warner on the side of the street. Pretty cool.
Oh, did you take a paparazzi photo of him and sell it? No.
He actually came to Jamstack Conf the next day. So I don't know if I did not make it in a lot of the pictures. So there's pictures on Twitter that I took, but I'm not in them.
Oh, no. Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's kind of sad.
What about you? Tag yourself anyway. I've been having a vacation after Svelte Summit. So for clarity for everyone that's listening, we did record an episode after Svelte Summit, but sadly the audio was completely mucked up, so couldn't really make it work. So this is what we've got.
Yeah, we were going to try to do some post-summit highlights, but it got lost in the ether. So
I think we'll try to revisit that when the videos are up, so we can actually talk about the talks a bit more in depth and like. So nice. That's so I've just been on vacation for like 9 days or something. Just came back, starting to work again, which is nice. Actually getting to write some Svelte, that's actually a lot of fun.
Yeah, that is really nice. Actually use the language you love.
Yes, exactly. Oh, I was going to mention Jamstack Conf.
Uh-huh.
So you have these awards called the Jammies.
Yes.
Are people forced to wear pajamas when they accept their awards? Is that a thing?
That is hilarious that you say that, because in the employee orientation for Jamstack Conf, they told us we can't wear jammies. That's like the one rule. It's like, so wait, we can't wear jammies to the Jammy Awards or Jamstack Conf. Like, why are onesies like not made just for this event? Like,
missed opportunity. Complete missed
opportunity. Yeah. I need to hand out the onesies as you get there, and like you're required to wear these. But so we give out a Jammy Award. There's actually several different categories, and Svelte won for the Ecosystem Innovation Award, which I thought was really cool.
So what does that mean? Ecosystem Innovation Award.
Innovation. So fancy. Like innovation in the Jamstack ecosystem. So like creating things that are different and innovating to the space, like things that are going to take us to like the new age of JavaScript.
Oh, yeah. Does sound exciting. It sounds like it feels like you're working with the future when you're working with Svelte. So
and I hope that no one got offended that there was no video. So apparently Rich did record the videos and they got handed off, but there was a miscommunication between our social media manager and the video producer, and it got lost in transition. So there were videos, but unfortunately, Rich does know he does have his Jamie Award, and it's very cool. So
I wonder if he can post that video somewhere anyway.
He should post that on Twitter and
right.
I think that might be spicy though after the fact, like because
that's true. Yeah. All right.
I feel like you got to toe the line between, because the two companies that.
Sure. Right. I didn't even think about that. It's just like, I just don't really like think about that stuff a lot. So, but that does make sense.
We shouldn't. Yeah.
No. Right.
We all love each other.
Yes. All right. So that's what we've been doing, I guess. So let's get into talking about some Svelte stuff.
Some updates.
Yeah. So you guys recently had an election over there in the US, right? Is it still ongoing?
Yeah. So the elections here are really crazy recently, since the whole fiasco of 2020 and everything kind of like got confused, and people like want all of these things to be double counted and stuff. So some states have different rules and regulations for their counts. So the states that could not start counting the ballots that were mailed in and have to do recounts and stuff are still determining who their winning candidate is. And then there's also Georgia, who you have to get 50% plus one to win. And they are at 49 point something and 48. So there's going to be a runoff in that election.
What does that mean? That they have to do it again, or?
Yes. So the two winningest candidates go up against each other again December 6th, I believe. And so then they have another election just to double check to make sure that's really who you want.
Gotcha.
Which happened also in 2020 or 2021. There was someone stepped down, I think, and they had a runoff election before, and this similar thing happened, but it's happening again.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, so we still don't have like all the official results, and nothing goes into effect until January, but there's been a lot of drama in the US. But the reason that we're talking about that is because all of these election graphs that you're able to see on the New York Times, on Bloomberg, and I think there's one other.
Yeah, Der Spiegel in Germany. That's
Der Spiegel. And then there's one other US one too that I'm missing.
Yeah,
that is also using Svelte for their election graphs. But I think that's really cool. And I mean, it kind of makes sense because
Reuters.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that's US based, but that is the one I'm missing.
It's a big one.
All using Svelte for their election graphs, which I think is really cool. But since Rich started at the New York Times and built this kind of for that purpose, it does make a lot of sense.
It is very cool to see it like widely used in the news industry. I know. I think I mentioned this on the last time we recorded, like in the doomed episode that never made it live. That like the Swedish election. So we had an election at Svelte Summit, right? Like the day after or 2 days after or whatever. And the biggest newspaper in Sweden also used Svelte for their election, like the Swedish election results.
Yeah, you did mention that.
Yeah. So it's even over here, and like a lot of the people at Svelte Summit were from like this Norwegian newspaper organization that owns like the largest newspaper in Norway and Sweden. Like I think they were like 20 people or something at Svelte Summit, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah. And I mean, we had several talks at Svelte Summit too that were about like data viz and like using Svelte to create all of these visualizations for the newspapers. I know Bloomberg was there. Julian and Brittney from Bloomberg.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good talks on it.
Speaking of data visualization, I got reminded of this. So I was on vacation, right? And I went to Budapest, and we went to this light museum thing, and I got talking to a couple of friends of mine, and I got reminded of this old talk from Svelte Society Day 2020, which is on like creative coding, which is a really cool thing. It's basically like art made using code, and it's like moving colors and figures and all this cool stuff. I'm going to link that in the show notes because I think everyone needs to see that talk because it's really cool what you can do.
That sounds really awesome. I'm going to have to watch that.
It's super easy to do as well. Like you could he does the whole talk pretty much in the REPL, I think.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, or I might be misremembering.
We'll have to
but
link
it's very
it
cool.
in the show notes, and everybody has to go watch it. Yeah. At JamesTech Conf, they had musicians coding music, and so you had like the visualizations and the music. Wow. It was really cool.
That is wild.
Yeah. It wasn't. I don't think it was in Svelte. I think it was just JavaScript, but it's
sure, but
still.
it's cool anyway, right?
It's still cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So the thing that Svelte does really well with this is the tween stores, right? So you can just you just get these fluid motions back and forth, and Anyway, I'm not going to spoil it too much. It's very cool. It's very cool
Go
to
watch
see.
it.
Yeah. All right. So we talked about the Jammy Award already, right?
We did, yeah, and got the election stuff out of the way. Get the drama. And now we're going to talk about all the work that Kevin's been doing recently.
Yes. It's honestly, it's not hard work, but it's tedious. Yeah, time consuming and tedious. Yeah. So I've been using this new OpenAI Whisper, a machine learning. I don't know what you call it. Whatever it is, it creates subtitles for you. You just enter videos and you get subtitles out basically.
So cool. Just the product
it is very cool. Yeah. It even it picks up things like, I think I mentioned this on the Discord, but it picks up things like blah 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 .svelte. It actually types that out in the subtitle, which is very cool.
And picking up the word svelte for these transcript things is very difficult. So if you ever look at YouTube or if you used a script, they all get felt, or they change it to something else, netlify as nullify most of the time.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It is actually pretty cool. So what I've been doing is I've been going through all of the live streams on the YouTube channel, and I've run them through this machine learning thing and got subtitles for all of them, basically. And I'm currently working on the videos. So
thank you so much for doing that too. We had a request in the Svelte Sirens channel to get transcripts on some of the videos, and Kevin was nice enough to go through some of the old ones. So they're starting to get uploaded and put in there.
Yeah, exactly. And we're actually going to use it for Svelte Radio as well to get the transcripts done. We used to have transcripts, right? But they were really bad. They were really, really bad.
Yeah.
But with this, it's obviously not as good as someone actually translating it or transcribing it word by word, right? But it's at least passable and you can read the information.
I wonder if there's an automated workflow you could set up too with maybe a GitHub action or something where you could just pull them down. Yeah, that would be really awesome.
Yeah. So the problem is that you need a powerful GPU to actually run this thing. Otherwise, it's going to take you forever to do. Even so, I think an hour takes on a super beefy GPU takes about maybe 5 or 10 minutes or something. So you can imagine running that on on a laptop or something. You're going to be sitting there for a very long time. Though, I mean, you can just do other stuff in the meantime.
That's what I was going to say. If it was automated, maybe it just runs in the background, but you would have to make sure the machine's on and unless you have something specifically set up for that.
Yeah, exactly. So
it'd still be cool.
So that's basically what I've been doing. It's tedious. Just have to sit in the command line and do copy paste of URLs and stuff, but it's not that much work. It needs to be done. We've had this request multiple times as well for having the talks and stuff transcribed, especially for Svelte Summit. So that's also something I want to.
One nice thing that does happen when you upload those to YouTube videos is you get those nice chapters. So you get actual clickable links to go to the different chapters with that, not just in the description. I know that usually we'll do it in the description, but I think they come on the sidebar. And so it looks like little book chapters and you can click once you have the subtitles if they're timed, I think.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's a good side effect.
Yeah. It's really nice for people just wanting to click through things, but it's cool.
Yeah. So I'm working on getting the videos done. There are a lot more videos than live streams.
What 5 years of videos?
Yeah. So I think I counted 107 or something. It's probably going to take a couple of days to get through those, but it has to be done. One thing I wanted to point out is that the machine learning thing, it also does translations as well. So we now have subtitles for the Svelte Indonesia meetup that a couple of years ago they did some meetups in Indonesia.
Amazing.
Yeah, and the Svelte Society France from 2020 as well is on there with subtitles now, so you can go watch that.
all the Svelte societies worldwide can use this open source tool to like also do that in the future.
Yep.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that's it.
Cool.
Go watch the old meetups or read the subtitles if you need them.
Absolutely.
They're
Go
there
see
now.
like all the old things and hopefully all the new things
Yep.
that are coming
Right.
out. Yeah, I feel like that's everything that we've been doing recently, but there was something that has happened since Svelte Summit, and we've last recorded a thing that I wanted to point out. So the creator of Knockout.js, which I was not familiar with before, I'm kind of a newer web developer, so I haven't been, but he's kind of an OG person. Steve Sanderson was at NDC Sydney and demoed SvelteKit for this big room of people, and it seemed really cool. And Rich had a couple of tweets out about it, and that Steve Sanderson was really like a mentor for him. And I thought it was a really cool thing to see someone that's like an OG creator, like admiring the routing in SvelteKit and how these form actions work and the different things that he was pointing out. And so we'll put those in the show notes if you want to check the tweets out. I think they're timestamped to the parts of the videos.
Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty cool to see.
Yeah.
It's always nice to see when people admire like the cool features of Svelte.
And to see the collaboration in the framework space, that was one of the things at Jam.conf too that I really liked. I met the creator of Astro, of Solid, of Redwood.js, like the different frameworks that like come together and the conversations that they have just make this community better. Like we all build off of each other to build a better thing in the end. And I love that.
Yeah. It's definitely a very welcoming and nice community.
It is. And I think they all improve each other. They're all like, oh, these are the things that have worked for me. Maybe they'll work for you. Maybe they won't. Maybe we're doing a different thing, but it's all a learning process. And I love that they communicate with each other.
Yep.
Vercel is the platform for front-end developers, providing the speed and reliability innovators need to create at the moment of inspiration. Founded by the creators of Next.js, Vercel has zero configuration support for 35 plus front-end frameworks, including SvelteKit. We enable the world's largest brands like Under Armour, eBay, and Nintendo to iterate faster and create quality software. Try out Vercel today to experience the easiest way to use Svelte.
So do we want to talk about the milestone goal?
Yeah. I mean, that seems reasonable to talk about.
I think that is pretty reasonable to talk about. And it looks like we are getting pretty close. If you go to the GitHub link, it's at svelte.js/kit milestone/2 on GitHub. You can see that we are at 97% today. I mean, like super close, right?
So close.
And
yeah.
I hear some rumors from some people. I don't think it's anything official that they're saying by the end of the year, but we're getting into holiday season here in the US. And I know Simon's not in the US, but Rich is, and we're going to see, but I'm not promising anything, but hopefully maybe in the beginning of the new year, right?
Would be a nice Christmas present, right?
Oh, it would be a great Christmas present. Yeah.
Yeah. You could just start the new year off with just like, oh, it's 1.0 now. You can use it everywhere. Even though we've already been using it.
I know we've already been using it. A lot of us have already been using it, but I've still heard all of these little things like, oh, it's still not 1.0, even though we have the release candidate. And I've still heard people saying like,
really?
Oh, there's still going to be changes. I'm like, well, there's not any expected breaking changes, but there could be, I guess. But
I mean, there was one the other day, right? Something about like the route ID or something. I don't know.
Oh, I missed that one. There was a breaking change?
Yeah, like they changed the name of something from
interesting.
I don't remember. But it was just like a super tiny thing, right? But still, it's a breaking change. So
that is still a breaking change.
It's funny, like sometimes you see in the Discord people coming in and asking for help, and you're like, they're still using the old version of like the pre-routing changes. So they're like using like 150 version old SvelteKit, and they're asking for documentation, and they have the load function in the page file and all this stuff, and you're like, just update. And they're like, no, I can't. It's such a big project. It's just like,
So they know that the changes happen, but they don't want to update. And so they want the old version. I mean, that is valid. Although it was beta software, but there's like still a valid, like people were building on that beta software, and that's scary.
I think they should just bite the bullet and just like
they should at this point, I think,
just
but
migrate.
Still like, and it really didn't take that long.
Right. Yeah. We did it on the stream, right?
We did, but that was a very small project. That's what I was going to say. Is like if you're running a very big app, I could see how that's a lot of changes. Especially like I had to even go into each file and like update the props and everything that's coming in. So that is a little tedious, but
yeah, but it's just that, like, right? It's tedious. It's not.
Yes,
it's not
like you were saying about the captions. Like it's
yeah. It's just like something you have to do, and
it's not hard. It's just like a time-consuming process. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. All right. So hopefully next year we'll have a 1.0, 100% complete.
Absolutely.
So that'd be cool. And then we can get Svelte 4.
But like we mentioned earlier, those election graphs, the New York Times one, I think, is actually running SvelteKit, not just Svelte. So it's, one of them was running SvelteKit itself. So they're running it on massively used too.
Yeah.
People are viewing that from everywhere. Application. So it's stable.
Maybe we should ask if they want to come on the podcast and talk about it.
That would be amazing.
Right? That'd be fun.
And maybe Rich has like an in still. Like we can get somebody on to talk about it.
We could also do like a panel podcast thing where we bring on like one from each major news org and they talk about their different like experiences of using Svelte and SvelteKit.
That would be really interesting.
Right? Yeah. That could be fun. I'm going to write that down. So I don't forget it. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
That's kind of most that we could think about that's like been happening other than the post-summit highlights that got kind of lost. But maybe we'll get to do that in the future when the videos get up.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. All right, cool. So we're into the nice parts of the show, the fun parts, The unpopular opinions. Do you have one for us, Brittney?
So if you have been on the social media space at all, I'm sure you've heard the Twitter drama that Elon Musk has taken over. They fired or laid off, or they fired them, right? Like 50% of the workforce, pretty much. Yeah, like they're gone. And I think Twitter is just on its way out. It is not a profitable company, and I think it's very rarely made money. And then with their current model losing advertisers, I think Twitter is going to die.
Yeah, that's an opinion. My unpopular opinion is that Twitter is not going to die.
You think it's going to stick around?
I think so, yeah. I think the advertiser thing is just a temporary thing. Like advertisers, they're coming back. Yeah, I think so. Like all the people are still on Twitter, right? Like a lot of people definitely went to like Mastodon and I'm not sure if there are other stuff. Yeah, right.
That's something else I was going to talk about. But something that I didn't really understand is a company not being profitable. What that means is that they are borrowing money to pay employees. So they're actually like taking out loans to make these like paychecks and stuff.
Right.
And with interest rates in the US going higher, they're basically like paying more interest on these loans. And then Elon spent $40 billion on Twitter of money that he doesn't technically have. It's just Tesla's money. So he's effectively like crashing two companies at the same time. It's like kind of crazy.
It is. I
kind of wish Sean was here because he knows all like the financial stuff. I'm like, I need Sean's brain on that. But
I think he kind of tried to back out of the deal, right?
Yeah.
But he did offer $44 billion or whatever. That's such an insane amount of money.
It is an insane amount. And then the courts made him take it because they're like, you can't back out on this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, but yeah, I think he's gonna. So he's trying to get rid of all these bots, right? That's why he wants this. He wants to change the verify thing and how all that works. I don't know. Like we'll see.
All of that
it's
has
probably
been
turbulent
too. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, like $8 a month to be like officially verified now, and if you don't pay, you're going to lose your check mark. And I remember people like Emma Boston and Kelly Vaughn and all of them trying to get verified, and they couldn't get through the process, and it was a big deal for them. And then now it's just like, you pay $8 and we'll verify you. But what validity does that have?
Sure, yeah. I did see something about him mentioning that there's going to be like a secondary verification thing. Like if you go to like the POTUS account, you'll have like one, it's going to be verified with the blue check mark, and then beneath that it says like official government account or whatever. So I think there's still like some kind of, I think there's going to be 2 levels or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
I have jumped a little bit onto the Mastodon train. Like I tried it out last weekend and I really like it. I don't know if it's going to be the next Twitter, the next big thing, but I think it does because you have this self-moderation feature, because it's almost like Discord where we have these small communities and you can join any of these little small communities. Within those communities, they can moderate and kick people out. But there is like the big mastodon.social that you can also join with like a different username. And I don't know how that one is moderated. So you can follow across servers. So it's like having your small Discord community, but still also see like other people's Twitter or social.
Exactly. I remember trying Mastodon out like a couple of years ago, but I mean, no one was using it.
Has it been around that long? And I've just not known about it.
It's been around for a very long time. Like
the problem is you have to go where people are, right? Like, and that's the thing with Twitter. I'm still on Twitter because a lot of people are still on Twitter. Yeah. So.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't think people are going to move to Mastodon, unfortunately. Like, I'd love for that to be the case. Because
there was a big surge, but I don't know if it's the next big thing. But I do really like it. I think it has potential.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's our unpopular opinions.
Yeah, I think so. It's kind of quiet today, which is you and me. Like we don't have all the
we don't have all the chatter, all the people.
Yeah,
we missed them
pretty quickly.
I think maybe Sean is doing some kind of writer's retreat thing, maybe.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I was telling him when I saw the dates, I was like, oh, I'll be at jams.conf, so I couldn't go to it. But I think, down in Miami, they're having a development writing.
Yeah.
I don't know if clinic is the right word, but that seems kind of cool.
Clinic.
Clinic. Workshop.
I don't know. I don't know. Something about learning how to write.
Yes.
Development, documentation, and all that stuff,
fun
I guess.
Stuff,
yeah. And
Anthony just has a baby.
Yeah.
That's just the excuse all the time. Like, you have a baby, you're just busy.
Yeah. So I don't know if I mentioned this on the podcast, but I got to meet her last week, which was a lot of fun. Super cute.
Awesome. I know. Yeah. So cute.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Picks.
Yes. So since I was at jams.conf, they have released the videos and the playback, and there were so many good talks. So that's going to be my pick this week, I think, is to go watch the Jamstack talk. And don't get mad when you see the Jamie with no Svelte person. Phil accepting the Svelte Jamie. Yeah.
And no pajamas.
And no pajamas. Like, what? Yeah. Just such a missed opportunity.
Should have memed it. Just gone in pajamas anyway. No, anyway. All right. So my pick, it's called Kagi, and it's a search engine that you pay money for. What a wild concept, right?
That is a really wild concept. And you mentioned this before the podcast when we were talking, and I was like, it's kind of interesting to think that you would pay money to use a search engine, but really you're paying like Google in your data. So like
exactly.
So
and I think
it does kind of make sense.
So what I've noticed is that the results are much higher quality. Like there's less of these I'm sure you've noticed, like when you've like Googled for stuff, you have all these like blog spam, ads, blog spam everywhere. Like there's like, especially also if you're like trying to find specific, like if you're searching for something in JavaScript, you might get these like websites that just copy issues from GitHub, and they just like make a website that just, and it's just like filled with ads all around, and you have like some. It's just like very distracting and
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. So the results are much higher, and you get like this this feature where you can click on every domain and you can just like weigh it, like how much you want it to show up in the results. So if you find that the results are not good, you can just like block that domain and it'll never show up in your results again. So it's very like, there are no ads, of course, because you're paying for it. So
Yeah.
I think it's like $10 a month, which is, it sounds expensive, but if you think about how much time you actually might save for each search,
yeah,
that adds up. And I think
and
$10
then you're not giving
like,
your data to
exactly,
the tech company.
Exactly.
It sounds very intriguing. I wonder how the search results are, like what kind of algorithm they're using to get the search I can't say, why is that so hard to say? Search results.
It's a hard word.
And then I wonder how you get SEO catered to that. Like, does it use kind of the same metrics that Google uses?
I have no idea. I just know that
I'm
the
sure
results
you don't
are
know.
good.
These are just questions. Like, I'm intrigued now.
Yeah. Well, you can try it out for free. I think you can get like 50 searches or something per month for free. So
interesting.
And they apparently it cost them like what was it, 1 cent per search or something in costs, which is like wild. That
sounds high.
Yeah, I agree. But I don't know. Yeah.
So I wonder if they're like on a different algorithm. Like, are they paying someone else maybe behind the scenes to use something?
Yeah, it could be that they're like bringing in a lot of data and aggregating it somehow and then sorting through it.
So maybe they're like using Google's algorithm and then just sorting it somehow.
Yeah, removing the bad stuff.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So I would give it a shot if you feel like Google is not treating you well. So it's a good search engine. I think that's our picks. That's it. Yeah. I guess we'll see you all next week. Thanks for listening, and yeah.
Hopefully we can start doing these more regularly.
Yes. Bye.